What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfighters. Now, it hasn't even been a full week. Only 6 days have passed since The Hollywood Reporter broke that Josh Friedman, the same guy who wrote Avatar: Way of the Water, among others, was actually going to rewrite the Fantastic Four script for Marvel Studios. Back in fall, it was announced that Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer would be penning the script, but if those names don't ring a bell, that's for a good reason. These guys literally don't have a published film in Hollywood yet, are just hot up-and-comers in the industry. Basically, I want to know who their agent is. Landing them a job for the Fantastic Four at Marvel Studios without ever having released a movie seems pretty incredible, and whatever experiment Marvel thought they were going for apparently hadn't worked, as they were needing somebody to rewrite it. Well, today, we've got a trusted industry insider weighing in on just that, what was going on with the Fantastic Four script and why they brought Josh Friedman in, as well as talking about two main characters we've heard rumored to show up before that aren't in the Fantastic Four, but rather spell huge fan favorites in the way of Silver Surfer and Galactus. We're going to break down the latest as it pertains to the FF script and what's going on with the film, but first, I want to tell you about my friends over at comicbookdirect.com. They are a brand new website that's really putting the ease of buying comic books all in one place. You can go there and get the one-offs you need. They work with all the major distributors, including Marvel, but the major feature, and especially for me, is that if you're in the middle of a run, you can go ahead and subscribe and get those books delivered to you weekly, which makes it easier than ever, especially in the modern day of Marvel, to keep up with these stories. You can go ahead and pay in advance, get a bigger discount, or just pay as you go, and if you act now, for the next 100 people who sign up below, you're going to get 20% off. That link is down in the description. Again, that's comicbookdirect.com, the easiest place to get everything from figures, mangas, collectibles, and especially the comics you want. Now, before we jump into this, I do think it's at least worth mentioning that we're already starting to see that there are very real consequences for Bob Iger coming back and the transformation that Disney and Marvel are trying to undergo, prioritizing quality over quantity. Earlier last week, before this story broke about the Fantastic Four rewrite, we heard that they may be rewriting the Thunderbolts script as well, one seemingly giving some credence to the other, and the reason for the Thunderbolts rewrite was given as it focused too much on the characters from Black Widow and not enough on the ensemble or pushing the story forward for new characters like Sentry. This newest update comes from Jeff Snyder over on the Hot Mic podcast, and this is what he had to say about why they chose to rewrite the Fantastic Four. Quote, "The initial draft for the Fantastic Four was fine and good, but they brought in a new writer so that they could take it to the next level. Marvel recognizes how important the Fantastic Four is for them, and they really want to get it perfect. Fantastic Four will be very cosmic," and then goes on to indicate that it will have lots of the 1960s elements. We're going to talk about that in full in just a second, but the last bullet point is that the film will feature both Galactus and Silver Surfer. Now, we're going to work our way backwards through these updates, but the mention of Galactus and Silver Surfer is something that we've actually talked about in depth at the channel because other industry insiders have indicated they would be part of the script. On surface value, it feels like way too much to shoehorn into the film, and even recently, some of those industry insiders and Twitter scoopsters had walked it back, saying, well, we're not too sure now if Silver Surfer is going to make it in. This all points to the Norrin Rad or Silver Surfer special presentation, where they can focus just on that character, lead to Galactus, which would make sense because the story's not that long or big in the first place. It would make a perfect 45-minute, hour-long film, and then lead into the Fantastic Four. That's been the rumor for a while, and I hope that's the case because, again, while focusing on bringing the Fantastic Four into the MCU, also explaining Silver Surfer and Galactus would be a lot to do in just one film. A special presentation, however, gives Silver Surfer more than enough time in his own presentation so that when we get to the Fantastic Four, everybody knows who this character is, everybody knows exactly what happened, and we can just pick up from there. Now, Fantastic Four having a ton of 1960 elements is not new either. We did hear officially from Kevin Feige, and one of the only things we know about the film is that it's not going to be your customary rehashing or just another origin story, and literally the quote from Feige was something along the lines of, "We all already know the story." That is totally true. It's exactly what they did with Spider-Man Homecoming. Skip the Uncle Ben story, skip the Spider-Bite story. We all know what's going on. We just pick up from there. But the indication that this would be set in the 1960s, I think only further supports my initial claim that I think the FF are definitely coming from another part of the multiverse, as the MCU and multiple points in the Infinity Saga has had plenty of time explaining what's been going on in the 1900s, and never once, not once, has ever mentioned the Fantastic Four as it would relate to Hank Pym, the government agencies, working on technology. There's no overlap whatsoever. So them coming out of the 60s, a team out of time, if you will, crossing the multiverse and then ending up in our main continuity would make a lot more sense, and then obviously doesn't leave a plot hole of why they've never been mentioned or explained ever during any of the things we've seen from Marvel. The Fantastic Four being cosmic is not a bullet point at all. For me, this is non-news. They've always been cosmic. You would hope that Marvel would keep that intrinsic to the team, but recognizing how Fantastic Four is important and wanting to get it right also doesn't seem like news either. This will be the third time the team's been adapted for the silver screen, and if you're like me and even have some fond memories of those initial Fantastic Four films, they definitely have some major drawbacks and problems with them as well. Of course, Marvel wants to get this right. It's at a crucial period in the multiverse saga, the kickoff for Phase 6, or at least as it stands now, and if they take a huge L on the Fantastic Four team up, that will not be the momentum they're looking to ride into the first Avengers film that'll be put out in Avengers 5 King Dynasty in the last 6 years. So that really brings me to my last point here with the first bullet point in this update, that the initial draft of the Fantastic Four was fine, but they just wanted to bring in another writer and take it to the next level. That tells me that Marvel Studios just having a good enough script, or a quote-unquote good script, is not good enough for them, and they truly are trying to raise the quality. And I don't think it's too much to ask to have a good coherent story with good character arcs and writing, and not get a movie by committee like we got with Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA. So my hope is if they're bringing in this new writer, they're making sure the director gets what he needs in Matt Shakman. They let him make the film that he wants to make. They let the writer write the film that he wants to write, and we do not end up getting another Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA that was so clearly a victim of being re-edited too many times that whatever the initial story that was buried in there was something that we didn't get to see. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, how hype you are for the Fantastic Four, and maybe there are one or two of you like me who feel like Galactus and Silver Surfer in that first film are just a bit much. I have no idea how they're going to plan on reconciling that, unless Galactus is going to cross over into the multiverse. They're going to use him to defeat Kang. Wait, did I just write? Let me know all your thoughts down below quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStations here at the channel. Yeah, actually, that would be lit. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. Have Franklin Richards in the Fantastic Four, just like they wrote it in. Have him rise Galactus. Do y'all know about this? Do I need to do a video on this? When Galactus was Franklin Richards' herald? Sheesh. That actually would be so lit. Man, Marvel, hit me up. I got your movie right here. All right, if you want to be entered to win a PlayStation 5, super simple. All you got to do, hit the sub button, leave a comment on this video because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The next one is Guardians of the Galaxy, less than a month away. The best way to keep up with the content here at the channel has always been the notification bell, with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. One quick plug before I let you go. Guys, I have always been a musician. In my life before YouTube, I toured in multiple bands for over a decade. And while one of the bands I was in came to an end, and that's why I'm a YouTuber now, and I have absolutely zero regrets. I love music. I'm back in the game, and we'll be putting out my first EP on 4/18 in just less than 2 weeks. There'll be a link pinned at the top of the comments. I know very few people buy music anymore, and I would definitely appreciate the streaming support when it comes out on April 18th. But if you felt compelled to do so, because nobody buys music anymore, it is easier than ever to hit the Billboard charts, and with my fan base sort of where it's at for my band, we have a good chance of doing so. So if you want to support me and or help me try to achieve this goal, feel free. There's a link down in the comments. The album's only like $5. I would really appreciate the support as a content creator. If not, no worries. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel and watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.